After midnight, October 12, 2019, Fort Worth, Texas, a neighbor notices the lights on and the front door ajar at a home on East Allen Avenue. He worries something's wrong and calls the non-emergency line, asking police to check on the house. Inside, 28-year-old Atatiana Jefferson is up late, playing video games with her 8-year-old nephew. Minutes later, a flashlight cuts through the backyard darkness. A voice shouts, "Put your hands up. Show me your hands." A shot follows. Atatiana, to family, was a daughter, a sister, and an aunt. An Xavier University of Louisiana biology graduate with a scientist's curiosity and a gamer's quick laugh. She moved back to Texas to help care for her mother and lived with family. Friends remember her love of science, music, and late-night gaming sessions. That weekend, her nephew says they left doors open to vent smoke from cooking, not to invite danger. 2 Fort Worth officers respond, Aaron Dean and his partner. Dean had joined the department in 2018. It's an open structure call. Check the property. Make sure no one needs help. Policy and training emphasize identifying yourself, announcing police, and assessing before using force, especially on a welfare check. The officers park quietly, approach around the side, with body cams on. They do not knock on the front door. They enter the backyard through a gate, flashlights cutting through windows. In a rear bedroom, Atatiana hears noises outside. According to her nephew, she picks up a lawfully owned handgun, unsure who was in the yard. At a window, Officer Dean raises his weapon. "Put your hands up. Show me your hands." Within roughly a second, he fires a single shot through the glass. The bullet strikes Atatiana. She collapses inside her home. Paramedics arrive, but she cannot be saved. The medical examiner rules her death a homicide caused by a gunshot wound to the chest. The neighbor who called for help is devastated. The city reels. Body cam video is released. Within days, Officer Dean resigns and is arrested. The police chief calls the shooting unjustified. Protests and vigils fill the streets. Candles and flowers gather on the front porch. A Tarrant County grand jury indicts Dean for prosecutors argue he failed to announce, violating training, and used deadly force without sufficient threat on a welfare check. The defense counters a quick, dangerous moment, a perceived gun in a window, and a split-second decision consistent with fear for officer safety. All justify the officer's actions that night. The body cam footage becomes the core witness. Every frame is scrutinized. In December 2022, a jury convicts Aaron Dean of manslaughter. The judge sentences him to 11 years, 10 months, and 12 days in state prison. Dean moves for a new trial. The court denies it. He appeals. In October 2024, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled it would not hear his appeal. He remains in prison, serving out the rest of his nearly 12-year sentence. Atatiana's family carries grief into action, speaking about who she was, not just how she died. The city faces a wrongful death lawsuit. Council records reflect a settlement with the family, alongside commitments to policy review. No dollar amount can make a home feel safe again, but public accountability lives in paper trails and practice. Fort Worth revises open structure and welfare check protocols. Knock and announce reinforced. Clearer ideas police. Prefer front door contact first when safe. And stronger documentation on body cam. The department expands de-escalation and scenario training. City oversight and public reporting take a small but meaningful step forward. The body cam captures seconds. A shout to show hands, then a shot. It did not capture what Atatiana saw or felt inside her room. Prosecutors focus on tactics. No front door knock, no announcement, firing through glass. The defense focuses on perception, a gun near a window, a fearful split second. The jury's manslaughter verdict lands between intent and error. Criminally reckless, but not. Welfare checks should mean safety. but tactics borrowed from high-risk calls, silent approaches, perimeter sweeps can turn a home into a hazard. Across the country, some departments now require officers to announce, ask dispatch to call the resident, or send co-responders where appropriate. The difference between a rescue and a tragedy often starts at the front door. Throughout this whole ordeal, there were different points of view. Prosecutors state that on a welfare check, failure to announce and firing through a window is reckless and unlawful. The defense maintained that a fast-moving, uncertain threat justified the officer's split-second decision. Community advocates say that at-home safety demands knock and announce, clear ID, and better tactics, especially in Black communities. Police trainers and unions say balancing officer safety with homeowner rights mandate clearer welfare check, playbooks, and scenario training. Agencies that require a phone call to the residents, loud verbal ID, and front door contact first report fewer surprise confrontations and fewer uses of force. Atatiana Jefferson never called for help. A neighbor did, out of care. The cost of that concern should not have been her life. In Fort Worth and beyond, the question remains, when we go to check if someone is okay, do our policies and instincts protect the very people we're meant to keep safe?